Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's video. We're going to have a look at the Japanese CFS V2 models for the next 30 days. For today's video is JMA Friday, and we're going to bring you up to date with the charts for the next month in a moment. Just say that first video this was our 7 AM upload. We've also released the ECMWS 42 days / 6 weeks look ahead, and we've got a change of 14 day coming up for you later on. This afternoon. That include all our break features, and we'll bring you up to date with the latest warnings in terms of Storm R1. The UK Met has issued a red warning, which is very unusual. They don't issue red warnings all that often. Danger to life for eastern parts of Scotland and northeastern England on the coast. I'll bring you up to date with all of the detail on that in today's fourth video, but things do look quite serious up there in the far northeastern corner later on today, overnight tonight, and into tomorrow. So more about that later on. But let's crack on with JMA Friday before we do that. So we're going to start off having a look at the 500 millibar height anomalies from the Arctic and North Pole view down. So this is the North Pole of the Arctic Circle just here. This is a more wider Arctic Circle. They've got the latitudes around there. So blue is extrapolating to below average heights, which is low pressure, yellow, orange and red to above average heights, which is high pressure. These are broken down to week periods. The first week period can take from 26th of November today to the 3rd of December. I'm going to get to Christmas Eve, by the way, with this. How exciting. Anyway, so we start off with above average heights in the Atlantic, extending up towards southern parts of Greenland, with below average heights to our east and northeast. That means we're pulling in winds from a cold northerly direction in the next few days. So starting cold and potentially quite wintry, and as we know today, anyway, and tonight, stormy too. Then we go through to week 2, which is going to be the 3rd through to the 10th of December. High pressure, if anything, pulls a little bit further away from us in towards the middle of the Atlantic. Below average heights, low pressure to our north, east, and over the country. Jet stream is going a little bit like that. So we go on to the cool side of the jet stream with that. And with low pressure over the country, much of northern Europe, we look quite unsettled too. Probably start to bring in something a little bit less cold, moderating the cold a little bit with the air coming in off the Atlantic. But overall, overall it looks as though we're quite cool and unsettled there again for the first sort of full week of December. And then weeks 3 and 4 will take us from the 10th to 24th of December, Christmas Eve, which will be 4 weeks today. Wow. So we see that we have below average heights to our north, above average heights pulled out to our west. So we look rather Atlantic driven here. Not overly mild though, probably sending the jet stream on a northwest southeast alignment to some degree. Have got some lower pressure as well down towards Spain. So we're not all that far from pulling in quite cold air from the north, to be honest. And as it's a 2-week anomaly, it's possible that we could be doing that. Perhaps we're westerly in week 3 and northerly in week 4. Something like that might be going on. But overall, it looks rather unsettled. And I would say probably no better than average with temperature, really. Maybe even a little bit on the cool side. Let's confirm all this with tropical and mid-latitude view. So, of course, we can't see the Arctic, North Pole, Scandinavia, Greenland, Iceland, all those areas are off the chart up here, but have a look at that view down so we know what's going on. And reminder of the week 1 500 millibar height only from the 26th of November to 3rd of December. We have the above average heights pulled out to our west and the below average heights digging in to the east. And so we look like we're pulling in cold winds from the north. So temperature anomalies are indeed coming out colder than average this week. In the week ahead, yes, we have below average temperatures there for the UK and for Ireland, most parts of Europe, also looking quite cold as well. Precipitation-wise, we look rather wet, so cold and wet, and obviously there is going to be potential for some snow being mixed in with all of this as well. Week 2 is going to be the 3rd to the 10th of December, again with the high pressure pulled out into the Atlantic, low pressure through here. It doesn't look as though it would be overly mild, although the temperature has lifted up a little bit, so we're back close to average. Really, we've lost the coldest of the weather, and it is still unsettled with the precipitation anomaly coming out above average. Quite a wet spell to come. And then week 3 and 4 will take us from the 10th through to Christmas Eve, 10th of December to Christmas Eve, with high pressure again out to our west. Low pressure is away to the north, bringing wind from like a west to possibly slightly northwesterly direction. Temperature anomalies look like that's close to average again for this 2-weekly period. Not particularly warm and still rather unsettled. So this is quite unsettled. Quite an unsettled December being signalled here, and not that mild, it has to be said, and starting off quite cold, of course, but overall not that cold either once we get the next week out of the way. Right, that's the JMA done. Let's see how the CFS V2 compares. So again, these are 500 millibar heights broken down into week pairs, and the first week build takes from the 26th of November to 2nd of December, with the coming week showing this big area below average heights extending through northern and western Europe above average heights out into the Atlantic. You can see that we're almost certainly bringing in a cold northerly wind, northerly blast coming up. So we get through to week 2, which will be the 3rd to the 9th of December, with again below average heights to our east and north, and to our northeast as well. Let's change the colour. We have the above average heights out to west. We send the jet stream on the northwest southeast line. I mean, we'll be a little bit milder. We'll bring the wind more from an Atlantic source rather than an Arctic source, but nevertheless, it's not overly mild, that, and is quite unsettled still as well. Week 3 sees a very significant change. So this is the 10th through to the 16th of December, with above average heights out to our west, but also building to our east. So it looks like we're going more anticyclonic there, drying things out and almost getting the wind into the east, probably. So could that be starting to bring something a little bit colder in from the east around the middle part of December. And then week 4 will be the 17th of December to the 23rd, the eve of Christmas Eve, where we have high pressure rain sort of centred over southern Scandinavia. This is almost a Scandinavian high, bringing in the wind from the east or the southeast. To be really cold, we've got to get that high pressure further northward. So instead of being centred like over Denmark, the high pressure needs to be centred over central Norway and Sweden up there, and then that allows a proper northeasterly to come in. But as it is, the air is coming in off the continent. It is rather easterly, so at the very least, I would suspect that would be quite cold, from a frost and fog type perspective. Not all that much snow. I wouldn't have thought the high pressure would go further north than that to bring in proper easterlies from Russia and Siberia. But, that is cold and frosty at the very least, I think. Right, okay, let's have a look at temperature anomaly then with CFS V2 week 1, 26th of November, 2nd of December. We're coming out colder than average. Looking very cold over on the continent as well. Many parts of Europe look pretty cold in the week ahead too. Week 2 sees a increase in the temperature. This is the 3rd to the 9th of December. We go a bit above average there. Week 3 is going to be the temperature 16th of December. Still a little bit above average in that week, only by around half a degree or so, though. Notice on the continent, actually, things are getting colder there again. And then week 4, look at this, actually starts going colder. This is running up to Christmas, 17th of December, 23rd, when we might be bringing in that easterly, particularly for the south. So that does imply sort of easy winds affecting southern parts of England, and come over here onto the continent again, looking quite cold from those easterly winds. So could we have a cold run up to Christmas? Maybe. That'd be exciting, wouldn't it? This is how the precipitation anomaly looks finally with CFSV2, 26th of November, 2nd of December. Driving average out to our west, a little bit west average to our east. Much continent looking quite unsettled. Week 2 is the 3rd to the 9th of December. That one has near normal rainfall. I suspect that is a slightly more unsettled week. Week 3 is the 10th to 16th of December. Again, near normal or no signal. And then week 4, which is going to be the 17th to 23rd of December. Again, very weak signals, maybe on the drier side. If anything, notice most parts of the continent looking quite dry. As we have high pressure in the ascendancy. This is all rather different from what the ECM WF 42-day forecast was showing, by the way. So if you haven't seen that yet, check that out. The ECM, for this update today, looking really mild, actually, for December. This was quite a bit colder to me, reading between the lines of these two models. There is disagreement, though, it has to be said, between the JMA and the CFS as well. So let's put that on the table. They're both starting off, in the same place, which is cold with northerly winds, but then they deviate. I'll turning a little bit milder through the early part of December. The JMA wants to keep the unsettled weather going and not overly cold, but again, not overly mild, whereas the CFS wants to build up that high pressure and get it up towards Denmark and southern Sweden, and that would bring in, at the very least, quite a cold continental flow, if not a proper Siberian easterly. So, interesting developments today with JMA Friday. Remember, it's just a snapshot of what these models are showing. They could look very different when we look at this tomorrow, next week, I should say. Any forecast beyond 5-7 days is fraught with danger and comes with big health warnings, and lots of salt must be applied with any forecast beyond 5-7 days. Right, okay, so that's JMA Friday done for this week. Now, we're going to be back shortly with 10 to 14 there. We will bring you up to date with all of those renewed warnings from the UK Met. As I said at the start of the video, we have now got a red warning, danger to life warning for northeastern parts of England and eastern Scotland. We will bring you up to date with that in today's 4th video, and that will be coming up very shortly. For JMA Friday for this week, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.